Will it hold? Last few times it kept telling me that it was disconnecting and this and that and the other. So I'm in an irritated mood now. So let me just clean this up. Give me a second. Hi! How is everybody? Hopefully better than me. I don't do well when things go wrong and I don't understand why, and like there's absolutely no reason for them to. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. How do I feel about that? I gotta lower the brightness on this. I'm still fiddling with this lighting setup for the purposes of streaming. Oh, for God's sake. All right, I think that's better. You've been fiddling with it? Yes, I have, Renee. So, thankfully, I have eggnog on hand. Oh. Did you have a good Thanksgiving last week? I did. I had a very nice Thanksgiving. Thankfully, ours wasn't really very disrupted by COVID because nobody comes in from out of town or out of state or even really from other, like, Thanksgiving is me and my daughter's mother, and like we're people who are regularly in contact anyways. So nobody who was not in our basically immediate sphere of contact came to Thanksgiving, or normally does and suddenly couldn't. So we had a pretty standard Thanksgiving, all things considered. What's your favorite and least favorite Thanksgiving dish? Ooh. Okay. See, the thing is, I'm actually inclined to mashed potatoes, which can be had at any time, but I don't know. I almost never get to have them outside of Thanksgiving. So that's probably my favorite. My least favorite, it used to be stuffing until I had my kid's mother's stuffing, which is amazing. I didn't like most of the stuffing I had prior to that. I don't know. So I know a lot of people have like shrimp cocktail as like an appetizer. Ugh. But there's nothing at my Thanksgiving that I don't like. Thoughts on Elliot Page? Okay, I'm saying rushing. I don't mean like I'm not going to do a good job on it. I'm going to try. But I am throwing together a video on the topic and dealing with the sort of questions that I see already coming up a lot. So I'll talk about that a little bit here, but I'll probably not get into it too deeply because, like I said, I'm pulling stuff together to actually do a video on him. Short version, congratulations to Elliot Page. And I hope that there is minimal dickishness towards him as this stuff goes on. There will be some. There will always be some. But, you know, I've definitely got things to talk about. You might remember I used to be semi-reactionary. You might also be aware I'm full-on leftist now. Well, that's in part because of you, so thanks. You're welcome. The SJWs, we recruit! Got a little overzealous and drooled a little. I recently finished the Sarah Jane Adventures, and I wish Elizabeth Sladen could have lived to see the first female Doctor. That would have been nice, yeah. So general heads up. In the past, I've tried to keep up with the questions, and like I've scrolled back up to get questions I missed. I'm not up for that today. So if I missed your question and it scrolls past, ask it again, but don't spam the chat. You know, just there's a balance to be struck here. Rudolph is on tonight on CBS at 8. Are you watching? No, I don't have normal TV. I just stream. I also didn't grow up with that. I was 20 by the time I saw Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So for me, it's mostly an oddity. Is eggnog alcoholic? It is if you make it right. Have you played Villainous? I don't even know what that is. What are your thoughts on the Haunted Mansion 2003? Look, as somebody who loves not only the Haunted Mansion ride, but I grew up with, and I still have a record, and yes, I have a record player, that was an audio dramatization of the Haunted Mansion. And I love it so much. There's this host, the ghost host, who's leading these teenagers through the mansion and sort of the same set pieces that you actually see when you go to the attraction. And yes, it's cheesy, but I love it. And that movie just doesn't know what it's doing. Ugh. Thoughts on Sister Act? I haven't rewatched it in a really long time. I remember liking the music though. I've seen the stage version. They don't use the same kinds of songs. I guess because they would have had to pay for the rights, because a lot of those were like mashups of existing songs and sort of, with more religious tinges. And they decided to make it a stage version, they just make original songs so they don't have to pay rights fees to anybody. But like, it ain't the same, and it's not as good. Also, there's a terrible romantic subplot in the stage version of Sister Act. Do you like Little Shop of Horrors? Yeah, I do. I don't love it, but I do like it. Lots of questions about musicals. Did I accidentally let slip that one of the things I'm working on is a top 10 movie musicals list? Because, like, you're starting to spook me out here. Oh, yes, Ms. Wicked Wolf. Yes. I loved that. So, okay, this is probably my favorite moment in the original audio version in my record of Haunted Mansion. Hang on. So, there's this point where the teenagers are led into this room with no windows and no doors. The way they came in just slides closed behind them. And the voice in this sort of slow echoing thing. So, there's effects on it and whatnot. Give me a second. I want to get this line right, so just give me a second on it. Your logic cannot deny that this chamber has no windows and no doors, which offers a rather logical challenge to find a way out. There's always my way. At which point there is a bolt of lightning, and they see a corpse from a noose up at the ceiling. I love it so much. Makes me very happy. Top 10 musicals, number 1, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Don't even correct me if it's not. Here's the thing. Like, I know what movie musicals I'm going to put on the list. I have not figured out an order for them yet. That's actually going to be really hard on this one. What's your problem with romantic subplot? 95% of stories don't benefit from it. It doesn't buoy the existing story. It doesn't feed into the primary existing themes. It's just something that's done because it's an expectation. I don't have an inherent hatred of romance. I just hate the way it is injected into damn near everything. Just because. Can I get this to sort the... Give me a second here. Let me just try. Ooh, no. Hang on. Just seeing if any of this sort of sorts out my lighting a little bit. Nope. Okay, forget this. Silly filters. Nonsense. Do you watch Robot Chicken? I used to. I haven't in a long time. I do not remember the last time I watched an episode of Robot Chicken. Gratuitous, yes, excellent, excellent word that describes the vast, vast, vast majority of romantic subplots. You look good in sepia. Oh, thank you, darling. What's the worst movie musical I've ever seen? It's awful, but I'm also going to recommend that people watch. Actually, I've got two, and I cannot decide which is worse. It would either be Can't Stop the Music, which is the movie musical about the formation of the Village People. Oh boy. Starring, oh God, Steve Guttenberg. Or The Apple, which is this bizarre 80s thing that is trying to be like the Garden of Eden story mashed up with what was current at the time music, behind the scenes culture. It's freaking awful. Like, it's bizarre enough to be kind of interesting, but it's really bad. Have you seen The Fault in Our Stars? No, I have not. How do I identify? I identify as a human being. No, I identify as gender fluid. So if you're asking pronouns, I use she or they. Either one is acceptable. Not cats. Cats is in the running, but I mean, like, the thing is, I feel bad knocking on cats too much because I fundamentally don't get cats. Even the stage version, I don't get it. But I know a ton of people get something out of it that I don't. She identifies as a threat. I do love that line. I can't remember if I've used that one on TikTok. I don't think I have. I might have a draft that uses it somewhere. Have you seen the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special? No. I want to. Like, I haven't, like, sat down to just watch something that wasn't something I needed to watch related to the channel in weeks. Oh God, I never have time for stuff anymore. I'm juggling so much, and like, it's my own doing. Let me be very, very, very clear about that. I did this to myself, and ultimately it's what's best for me. I need to keep busy, but yeah. Maybe I'll have some breathing room once the book's done. We'll see. Who do you think should replace Johnny Depp in Fantastic Beasts 3? Wasn't Mads Mikkelsen confirmed? I believe he was. Of course, The Apple is bad. It's a canon movie. Hey, I will defend Masters of the Universe, and that's a canon movie. So, have you heard of the fellow YouTuber Dr. Freedom? I have not. I am not familiar. I finally finished my short film script. It's a dark comedy with an occultist going to hell with time travel mechanics. That sounds like a lot. Huh? I use the pronoun they, them whenever I discuss you with my friends. Don't know why. I mean, it's easier. That's fine. It's listed as an acceptable pronoun because it is. Do you know the actor Ben Platt? Not that I know of. If you list some things that he's been in, I might recognize some of those, but I don't recognize the name. With the recent problems with the LGBTQ plus rep in live action stuff recently, could you do a video how animated shows have been absolutely crushing it? Here's the thing. I don't think the reason those shows are doing it better is because they're animated. I think the reason they're doing it better is because they're fantasy. So here's what I mean by that. When anything is set in a fantastical world, it gets to make its own rules about what is normal. But anything that you make that is set in the real world, the expectation is there is going to be some acknowledgement of the difficulties that exist in the real world, of family rejecting you, of people not understanding, and the case of trans people, of being misgendered, and things like that. And I think there's kind of a fear among some writers and directors and creators that if they ignore all that, it's somehow less realistic. Whereas if you set something in a fantasy world, like She-Ra, which I love, and Owl House, which I'm enjoying, and I'm still working my way through, so no spoilers here. But with something like She-Ra, which is set on a completely different planet. And all these queer characters, nobody ever says the words gay or lesbian, and no one ever questions any of the characters who have same-sex attractions or any of it, because it's clearly not an issue in this world. And when you create your own world, you can create a world like that. Like I said, when you have something that is in the real world, you could do that, but it feels like creators don't have the wherewithal to decide to try and do that. Maybe there's a belief that audiences wouldn't accept it. I don't know if anybody's tried. So who knows whether or not that's been tested, actually. And the other thing, even with some things like, say, Star Trek, which is in theory a made-up world with its own rules, that has decades worth of baggage about how they were portraying things before that it still has to deal with. Have you seen the London revival of Gypsy? I have not. I've only ever seen a community theater production of Gypsy, which was quite good. I believe it was the Stowe Players, Central Vermont. Something I do is look for good ideas and concept, because to me, nothing is inherently bad, just poorly implemented. I would argue that some things... Okay, here's what I will say. There is no idea that cannot be done well, but there are some ideas that the margin for being able to do it well is about as thick as a gnat's wing. Let's go with that. Do you think Jodie Whittaker's finale will be the 60th anniversary special? I have no idea. I kind of hope not, because I want the anniversary special just to be a celebration, and I think bringing regeneration baggage to that won't... I'm not sure how well that'll blend. That's just my gut talking. If that's what they do, that's what they do. Thank you. The closest thing I have to a romantic subplot in my project is one of the characters has a thing for another, but she doesn't give him enough thought to even notice. Oh, the Unrequited. He was in Dear Evan Hansen, Pitch Perfect 1 and 2, The Book of Mormon, and Netflix original The Politician. Well, so I probably would have seen him in the first Pitch Perfect. I haven't seen any of the rest of those, though. And most of the male characters in Pitch Perfect were really forgettable. Oh, somebody mentioned the shirt. This is actually my merch. Excuse me while I plug my own stuff for a minute. The Beautiful Valid Love, the colors on this, on the one I'm wearing, are the gender fluid pride colors. If you go to my TeePublic store, which there should be a link in the description, I have this available in 16 different pride colors. So be it for yourself or for a loved one, I think hopefully I've got everybody covered. And if I missed one, feel free to tell me. I'll get it made. Have you still been watching Inside Number 9? No, I only ever did that first series. I haven't had the time to go back and do more of it, and I didn't have an inclination to do it with my free time. Ha! Oh, that's good. Since you got BritBox, you need to watch Spitting Image. Adding more things to my to-do list, like that's funny. Excuse to plug or excuse to point at your own breasts. Both? Both. Both is good. Did you like Day of the Doctor, and did you see it in the cinema, at an event, or at home? I saw it at home, and I do like it. I like it pretty well. Have you seen anything by Bennett the Sage? Not a clue who that is, so that would be a no. Are there any instances where a romantic subplot works for you? Off the top of my head, no. I mean, there probably are, but like, really only if it factors into the theming that's otherwise going on in the thing. I mean, that's why I hate it in things like action movies. Very few action movies benefit from that kind of thing. Well, thank you very much, Joshua. Love your vids. How do you think the classic doctors would react to Jack flirting with them? I think 6 would probably be all for it. I think 6 would probably be okay. It would boost his ego. I don't think the first Doctor would notice that that's what he's doing. Second Doctor will probably just be confused. Third Doctor might actually just match his energy. Fourth Doctor, we just sort of smile and not bring it up. Fifth Doctor, I expect would ignore it. Seventh, I don't know how the 7th would react to that. And I suppose that serves as another selfless plug. Like I said, I'm trying to grab comments as I see them, but if you want to ensure that I see your comment, the super chat is an option. All of those will be read. Otherwise, it's a bit of a dice roll. What are your thoughts on Fraggle Rock? I only ever watched it a little bit when I was a kid. I mean, it's Jim Henson, so like it's fine. I don't have a lot of strong memories of it, though, aside from the theme song. Pretty sure action movies do that to appeal to the male audience. The male audience is already there to watch crap get blown up. And like, let me be clear, I'm not talking about scantily clad women, which can be its own issue. Like, I get that feeding into the male thing, but actually stopping the friggin' story or having the hero do something that they otherwise would not do to save their romantic love interest, just stop. Ugh. Find a more interesting way to up the stakes. Have you watched Blackadder? I have. I have seen, although I skipped the first series. I've seen all the rest. I never did see the first one because I was told to skip it. How's your daughter? She's doing pretty well. You know, she's in school. Well, she's in school about half the time. We'll see how long that holds. Things are getting closed down a little bit around here, like everywhere. I mean, it's still not too bad as far as things go. Excuse me. Vermont is one of the states with some of the better numbers, but you know, it's still gotten worse from what it was. So, you know, it's a thing. I wish I had a friend like you in my... Well, first of all, thank you, Cleopatra. I wish I had a friend like you in my life. Someone who just gets it. I'm tired of having to explain my transness or validate it even to friends. I mean, I hesitate to say that I just got it. Like, I got here by 38 years of life experience. So at this point, it is fairly intuitive to me, but it's because I've lived it. I'm not sure I would just get it otherwise. And I know it's exhausting to make allowances for people. To a certain extent, you have to, but then again, you don't give them infinite leeway either. How far am I into Owl House? Episode 7, 8, something like that. Thoughts on Terry Pratchett, favorite book? I've only read to date 2 Terry Pratchett books. I've read The Monstrous Regimen, and I've read Good Omens. I actually have been commissioned to read Guards, but I've got another book I was commissioned to read before that, plus a bunch of other stuff. So like, it's on my to-do list. It'll happen eventually, but I couldn't tell you right now when that is. I have seen Hogfather. I have not read it. Thank you very much, Thomas. Do you think they should introduce a new companion to replace Grandma Ryan, or just have the Doctor and Yaz carry the show? Just the Doctor and Yaz. I think the lack of a central and core Doctor-companion relationship is one of the things that, at least for me, has been hurting Whittaker's run. And I want to just see them strengthen that. Don't add more people, please. Have you seen anything by Martin Scorsese like Goodfellas or Casino? I've only seen a couple of Martin Scorsese films. I'm trying to think now. I've seen most of Casino. I've seen most of Goodfellas. Like, and these are things like I've caught by osmosis. I don't think I ever sat down and watched them. Love the TARDIS here. They're actually what they are. They're bombs. I've seen The Departed, which I like a lot. I've seen Shutter Island, which I didn't like very much at all, and I think is drastically overrated. I still see it show up on like lists of best psychological thrillers. I'm like, that's crap. That movie's garbage. Like, it's pretty. It's well filmed. It's shot a lot better than a lot of movies like that are, but it's a garbage movie. We need Donna. We always need more Donna. Have you heard about the traumatizing movie Megan is Missing that's going around? I have not heard of that. Favorite guilty pleasure movie? I don't know. I've got a small collection of them. So, like, some things on the list would include G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, Masters of the Universe. I had one in my head a second ago and I lost it. Oh, House on Haunted Hill, the remake with Jeffrey Rush. What's the best Big Finish box set you've listened to? I haven't listened to all that many of the box sets. Honestly, I prefer the one-offs. I prefer the main range. I'm a little bummed out that they're ending it. As far as the box sets go, the one I've liked the best was the War Master, Only the Good. Oh yeah, that was good stuff. What's something important your daughter explicitly taught you? Ooh. Oh, dang. Patience more than anything else. And I guess sort of along the specifics of that, knowing you're right doesn't mean you get to be impatient with someone who doesn't understand why you're right. I'm sad that Graham in particular is leaving. I'm looking forward for better character development of Yaz. Yeah, I mean, that's what I have my fingers crossed for. Who's your favorite classic Who companion so far? Oh, Jamie. It's Jamie and Ace. It's close. It's real close. If I did a list of TV moments that made me cry, the final episode of Blackadder is in there, specifically the moment when George admits he's scared. Yeah, that was surprisingly poignant. Do you think Graham and Ryan will be killed by Daleks or leave by choice? I really hope they just leave by choice, because I'm really kind of over having this thing where the only way anybody leaves is because they're forced out. We haven't had someone just decide to leave the TARDIS since Martha. And she's really the only one of the modern era who's done that. Have you watched Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? Not only have I watched it, I cited it in a video from late October on depictions of mental health. I love your TikTok. Thank you. Can I just take a second to say how flippin' weird, like, my success, I get, quote unquote, on TikTok is. So, like, I've been on TikTok since May. Wasn't really doing much with it seriously until, like, I don't know, September, maybe. And I have more followers on there than I have subscribers here. I actually have more followers there than I have subscribers on all of my channels here combined, which is weird. It's like, it's fine, but it's really weird. There are people who are gonna know me from that who don't even know I do YouTube. It's so strange. My life is becoming surreal in ways that I'm kind of enjoying, but it's like, Update from last live. Well, thank you, Kara, first of all. Significant others by gender and uses they them pronouns, though I'm the only one they're out to. And honestly, that's massively important that they were comfortable coming out to you. Because the thing is, the people say, you know, coming out as if it's something you only do once. It's something you are going to keep doing, that they are going to keep doing because they've come out to you. Eventually, they will come out to other members of their family or friends. If, hopefully, if the comfort level is there, they will come out to coworkers and social media and whatnot. But it's a continual process. But that process is easier once you have that first person in your corner who supports you. And you get to be that for them, and that is wonderful. Thank you very much, Renee. Any comments on The Crown, especially in regards to Thatcher? Do you think Clause 98 should have been shown? Anti-LGBT bill. I don't watch The Crown, so I actually don't know anything about what you're talking about. Based off the question, I'm going to assume that it's depicting Thatcher while avoiding the policies that she put forward, or some specific ones at any rate, which the movie about her also did, which is cowardly. If you're going to talk about someone's impact on the world and their legacy, you need to talk. And I was going to say you need to deal with the good and the bad, but the thing is, from her perspective, this stuff wasn't bad. This was what she wanted to accomplish. So it's not even like, oh, well, we don't want to talk about the bad times. As far as she was concerned, most of what she did was good. So I don't know who they think they're sparing if they make the decision to not depict that. If Captain Jack doesn't meet 13 in the special, I will unleash my inner Karen. I would be stunned if they don't actually meet. Hello from Germany. Hello there. Also, have you seen the Venom movie? If so, what did you think? I did. I think there's a review on this channel. I had fun with it. I didn't have very high expectations, which helped. But it was fun. I'm actually kind of excited for the sequel. I want to see what they do with it. What are your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts? I only played the first two. Well, no, that's not true. I played the first two and Chain of Memories. By the time I beat the second one, I was like, the lore on this is getting preposterous. And like, even just out of the corner of my eye, catching what's been going on in the franchise since then, I'm like, no. That's just pass. Even if I had a machine that could play Kingdom Hearts 3, hard pass, good grief. But there was something really magical about that first time playing the original Kingdom Hearts. It's hard to put into words what it was like, but there was something really special about that. You know you've got a problem when you get drunk and wake up with 3 advent calendars in your room with every door open. Been on that date. Do you listen to the Hamilton soundtrack even when you're not running? I haven't lately. That was the main situation which I was reading, because lately I've gotten into the soundtrack to 6. If you haven't heard that, I do recommend it. It's about the 6 wives of Henry VIII. It's fun. Where does Sacha Dhawan fall in your master ranking? I don't know, because I kind of want to see more of the fallout from the Timeless Child, and I know the Timeless Child is the Doctor, but the fact that the Master was the one who found that out and brought it to her attention, I feel like I need to see more about how he's going to handle all this before you can make a call on him. Thoughts on the Rocky Horror remake? Never saw it. Didn't care to, wasn't interested. What time of the day do you go running? Well, I don't really as much now because it's gotten cold. I usually try and do it in the morning. like late morning. So apparently when I'm drunk, I hit the notes for You'll Be Back perfectly. Da 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 da. Speaking as a 19-year-old bisexual, I'm really hoping Yaz turns out to be gay, bi, or queer in some way, and even more so, not in a Castile, just about to die away. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You should watch and react to Doctor in Distress. Okay, how many of you are in on this little coven of people keep pushing me to watch and react to this thing? Part of me is tempted just to delay and delay, just to string you along, see how many of you come out of the woodwork. Do you like roller coasters? I have to be in the right mood, but yeah, I have fun with those. Kingdom Hearts drinking game, take a shot whenever they say heart, light, or darkness. You will be dead by the end of the tutorial. What are your thoughts on Forrest Gump? I haven't seen it in a long time, so I actually don't even know how well it holds up. The actor who plays Sam Swift also played the meddling monk in the Missy box set. So, you might have actually been the one. Somebody commented that when the review for that episode went up, which I didn't realize, which makes sense. Coven. Yes, Carolyn. Coven was the first word that came to my mind. I cannot imagine why. Skyfall or Casino Royale? Oh, Skyfall. Casino Royale is good, but it's clunky. The three acts of it are so distinct, and they're almost like from completely different movies. They don't flow well one to the other, even though each self-contained is quite good. If you continue the War Master series or do the 50th anniversary Master Story, which I have done that. I have reviewed that one. There's another Unbound story you should check out, Sympathy for the Devil. David Warner plays the Doctor. I did hear about, well, and also, thank you very much, The Sentinel. I appreciate that. I did hear about that, and that is one of the ones I'm certainly curious about. Will you ever do a Missy cosplay? Yes. Yes, I will. When I'm not on a spending freeze and can afford cosplay items again. The thing is, this is why this is my living now, because I cut expenses. I cut them to the bone, and you better believe I cut fun expenses, which, like, even with something like that, which I could honestly, if I appear in it in a video, I could write it off on my taxes, but I still have to pay for it up front in the first place, which I'm not. I made a decision for until I get my car paid off, which if I'm lucky will happen next year. But until that happens, I'm really not doing fun purchases. I'm just not. Things that I don't absolutely need, even if I could theoretically write them off, because that's still money I shouldn't be spending now. Who's the council accountant? I don't know if this has gone beyond TikTok, but there's a whole thing there with honestly, anyone who makes their living in unconventional ways, but primarily sex workers. There was a song that made its way around that says, when people ask me what I do, when people ask you what you do, just say that you're an accountant. What do you do? I'm an accountant. Where do you work? At a place where accountants work. But that having been said, I do have my Amazon wish list in the description, and I do have a Missy cosplay piece on there. So if you desperately want to see me in it, and you don't want to wait for me to be able to afford to start buying cosplay pieces again, I'm just saying, oh man. No, I stopped myself saying it. I'll say, I am a whore tonight. I am whoring myself out hardcore. And no shame on that. You get your money, however you get it. Thank you very much, Renee. The new Chromecast is cheap as chimps. I didn't realize chimps were cheap. These are hard words to string together. You are a professional geek. I know! Right? Discord. Yes, Carolyn, thank you. I will get to that in a second. Do you like Brie Larson? I've liked her in most of the movies I've seen her in. If you're asking if I like her outside of the movies, I have no comment on her as a person. So, okay, let me grab this super chat and then I'll pop over to the Discord, which is the other way to guarantee that your questions will be answered. Let's see. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Mr. Will Guitar. Bravo for your career choice. Great courage and inspiration. Best wishes and thanks for all your reviews. Still think you dig the 1977 Hulk without wishing to labor the point and add to the workload. If I can get into, the vibe of it, I probably would. Are you trying to watch Schitt's Creek again? I've seen the first couple episodes. I watched them with Liz because she started watching it. Anyway, I gotta hop to the Discord, which, as a reminder, yes, there is a Council of Geeks Discord, but it is a Patreon perk. So if you wish you were on there and participating in conversations with other council members about all things geeky, that's where that would be. So let me just pull that up, see what I've got on here. As we are heading into December, what is your favorite Santa on screen, big or small? Could Nick Frost take Richard Attenborough or Edward Gwynn? Edmund Gwynn. Nick Frost is a really nice and unique Santa. I do enjoy him a lot. Honestly, I also like the tattooed Santa from Rise of the Guardians. I don't know if I could name a favorite. There are some good ones, though. And I kind of like Richard Attenborough a little bit more than Edmund Gwynn. Edmund Gwynn's good. Like, it's classic, iconic even. But question, how do I get into Star Trek? I tried Next Generation because I heard it's the best show. I saw the first episode. I did like Q, but it just didn't catch me outside that performance. Here's the thing, I actually don't know how to answer that right now. So here's the thing. Next Generation is generally considered to be the best or one of the best shows, but first season is rough. First season, almost the entirety of it, is not very good. Even the second season, there isn't that much that's good about it. It doesn't get good until a bit later on. So, honestly, I'd say try some of the movies just to see if you vibe with it or not. So try Wrath of Khan. You can do Search for Spock. It's not bad. Definitely do Voyage Home. Do The Undiscovered Country. Do First Contact. Or even try the reboot ones. And figure out what you're vibing with. And then sort of go from there. It is a bit like Doctor Who, which is basically like, you don't have to start at the beginning. You can. You don't have to. Pick an era and get your head wrapped around that. But if you're not vibing with it, try another era. Try another show. I haven't seen all of them is the other thing. I've seen bits and pieces of most of them. I still haven't seen any of Discovery. I think that's the only one I haven't seen any of. The rest I've at least seen parts. Whilst I find both to be overrated, is it odd that I prefer The Shining over 2001: A Space Odyssey? I would expect that's a matter of personal taste. I actually don't like either one. The middle third of 2001 is brilliant. The first act and the third act, I don't care. I agree with Stephen King when it comes to The Shining. But the thing is, Stephen King's objections basically came down to "you changed my book." I don't recall him making very substantive, concerns about why it doesn't work as a film. It was just, they changed my book. And I think, and like, I've never read the original. So my issues with The Shining aren't even as an adaptation. I just think it's not a good movie. All right, I am popping on back. And so now I'm here again, and have you read Accession yet? If yes, when is the review coming? I have started it. It's a thick book, and I am juggling a lot. I'm working on it. Personally, I will never understand people's problems with the Venom movie. To me, all that it had was some pacing issues, and that's it. It had some pacing issues, and its villain sucked. It was a lousy, lousy villain. Honestly, the main thing it had going for it was the bond between Eddie and Venom. That was where the fun was. If there's ever a Sweeney Todd revival, you should play the title character. I would love to play Sweeney Todd. Oh. That... There's a hole in the world like a great black pit, and it's filled with people who are filled with shit, and the vermin of the world inhabit it. But not for long. Don't know if it's popped up at all, but thoughts on the female Bond. Well, first of all, like, I feel like that gets misreported all over the place. My understanding is that they're talking about a female 007. That's not the same as a female Bond. It's not like James Bond is now a woman. 007 is just a rank. It's just a specific agent designation. So there's no reason that it couldn't be a woman. And so on that level, I'm like, whatever. They're not changing James Bond into a woman. They're having other, like the concept is another character gets to be 007, but James Bond is still James Bond. I don't know. The whole conversation is weird to me. As the founder of the Doctor in Distress Coven, I do apologize if the requests get irritating. I'm still having fun with it. If it gets genuinely irritating, you'll know because I won't smile when I talk about it. It'll be more like this. So unless you see that, I'm probably okay. If there's an Into the Woods Broadway revival, who would you play? I don't know Into the Woods that well. I mean, I've seen it, but like I saw it, God, like 20 years ago. And I wasn't into it enough to like really dive into the soundtrack or anything like that. So I don't even know. Did you like the sequel to 6, or do you think changing the main cast, genre, and medium was too drastic? I didn't realize 6 had a sequel. I was unaware. Have you played any games by Platinum Games, specifically Bayonetta or Wonderful 101? Nope. I've never played a Platinum game. So like when anyone was a timeless child, I suppose. Ever been tempted to use those axes of yours in the background? No, because I know that's crap metal and it's decorative. If I actually wanted to do some damage, I'd go for the cutlass. That one's actually a sturdy piece of equipment. Well, you can't see it from there, though. Hold on. If I actually found myself in a position where I needed to grab something, it'd be this. Not the axe. Although, I suppose the spike bit on it would be all right, but the actual axe of the blade, like, I couldn't cut anything with that. It would only just be however much force I could put behind it. Thank you very much, Cleopatra. I know you dislike a lot of negative queer tropes, but the sissy villain is my guilty pleasure because they're so fabulous. Riddler to Silva, etc. So, like, I talked about this when I talked about gay coding last year, I think, was that video. And the simple fact is, whether they are explicit or not, I think the reason gay coding hasn't left villains is that gay coded villains are fun. They're really, really fun. I mean, just look at the snark from someone like Scar. Oh, I shall practice my curtsy. Oh, that's just fun. So, like, I get, and like I say that understanding that the excessive use of queer coding on villains can be a problem. I actually think it's become less of a problem than it used to be. As more representation happens, then the fact that they sometimes get these traits and coding signifiers get lumped onto villains doesn't matter as much when there's plenty of non-villain representation out there. It was actually a bigger problem a few decades ago when queer-coded villains was the majority of queer representation. That's not the case as much now. So I actually think there's less of an issue with gay coding your villain as long as you are not in some way doing it so that it seems like it is their gayness that makes them villainous. So unless you trip over that hurdle, I don't think it's as big of an issue as it once was, at least in terms of damaging perceptions or whatever as a piece of representation. Now, I say that largely in terms of gay coding. Trans-coded villains, that's actually still kind of an issue because there isn't quite as much trans representation in other areas to balance it out. Do you think 13 will be okay with Jack's advances? I kind of see her as aggressively asexual, especially compared to 11, the most sexualized Doctor. I kind of want her to ignore, like, every time he makes a pass at her, because, like, Jack, he rarely, at least when talking with the Doctor, he would rarely hit on the Doctor if he wasn't already saying something. Like, he'll bring this up and add a flirt into it. I kind of want to see the 13th Doctor address whatever the first thing was and ignore the flirt. Just ignore it every time. Queer-coded villain Morrissey. Isn't Morrissey a singer? I think I'm missing something here. Do you watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force? I used to occasionally, back in the day. I think I kind of grew out of it. A problem I have with the live-action Disney remakes is they take out a lot of the songs I feel like could work in the live-action setting. So, like... Here's the thing about that, Logan. Leaving the songs in pisses off people like me. So this is a case of you can't please everybody. Now, I will grant, in most cases, those songs are a big part of what made the originals great. But by bringing the songs in and using them again, like they did with things like The Lion King or with Beauty and the Beast, then that to me invalidates as to why the hell this movie should even exist in the first place. Because you didn't make a new movie. You didn't even adapt your earlier version. You just made it again, songs and all. You stripped the identity from an animated thing and did it live action. What is the point? Removing the songs and attempting to tell a story without them at least gives some validation as to what you're attempting to do, because you're not using the same mechanisms and the same beats specifically that were used in the previous version. So you have to do something at least slightly different, or find a different way to communicate what the songs communicated. Does that mean that the movies where they've done that, like Cinderella or Mulan, are actually any good? No, it does not. But this is why this entire trend is awful. It's a terrible idea to the bone marrow. Because you're either going to piss off people who wish it to be more like the original, or you're going to piss off people like me who are annoyed at how much of the original you just recycled. Stop doing it! What sort of weapons do you like? I like swords, especially Japanese, European and Japanese. I like a lot of them aesthetically. For personal use, longbow. I'm actually quite good with the longbow. You missed the chat deciding that we wanted a Vera Stream musical. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's Here's what I'll say. The main reason I don't sing more on this stream is because I know from experience, if I sing too much, it gets caught by the copyright bots, and then monetization gets shut down on the playback, and it kills the chat, and you can't replay the chat, which, if you're going to watch a live stream back, you kind of need to be able to have that. But on TikTok, that's not a concern. I'm not worried about the archived version of a live, because if you go live on TikTok, you're just there for however long you're live, and unless somebody screen captures it, it's gone once you're done. So if I were to sing more, and it was things that were copyrighted, I don't know, I could get away with that on a live TikTok that I opt to not push my luck with here. Just thinking out loud. Not sure if you've answered this before. Favorite Six song? Mine was Heart of Stone. I find Heart of Stone to be boring. I'm partial to All You Want to Do, because I love the arc of that song. I mean, there's a reason it's 6 minutes long. It's actually telling the story of like her experience, and like she's so frustrated by the end of it. It's I like that one a lot. I'm trying to get my girlfriend to watch Torchwood because she adores Jack, but she can't get into it past the second episode. Well, first of all, that second episode almost got me to stop watching Torchwood. That episode, day one, is terrible. It's awful. It is so bad. So, like, I don't blame her. How did this go from the most wonderful time to I need a stiff drink? Because I had a crap ton of problems getting the thing even to go live. That was why. So, and here's the other thing. I'm not the person to get recommendations for on Torchwood, because I don't like most of Torchwood. I like sporadic bits here and there. The only season I liked consistently was Children of Earth. But I'd be hesitant to leap her in on that because she might hate you for it. Because that thing is so freaking dark. Whew. Like, it's great, but damn. Hypothesizing that copyright wouldn't be an issue, what are some songs you'd sing on a cover album? See, like, I haven't actually thought about that. Now I've got to start to ponder that. What song would each doctor sing at a karaoke bar? Oh, I don't know, but someone needs to put together a cosplaying doctors compilation of all the doctors doing karaoke. Oh, that'd be so good. Okay, shoot. Yeah, All You Want to Do Is Better. Ha ha! Thank you. Just the very end of that song, the venom in her voice. Playtime's over. Oh, God, it's so good. Thoughts on Scott Pilgrim without thinking about the ending. Okay, setting the ending aside, I have a little trouble vibing with the fact that these people actually die in these fights. I know it's internal logic and they can set whatever rules they want. That never sat well with me. Like, that these people are actually dead. But look, here's the main thing. Visually, it's a stunning film. It is an amazing realization of integrating both comic book and video game elements into a movie. It's a stunning film. I've still got a lot of nitpicks on it, though, even setting the ending aside. And just to reiterate, for folks who are newer around here, the ending of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is shit. The Sixth Doctor video killed the radio star. Would you ever record a Christmas album? I don't think I like enough Christmas songs. And I'm always more partial to the older style carols. You know, Carol of the Bells, We Three Kings, things like that. I don't know when it'll go up. End of the month or start of next month. But if you listen to the What the Frail podcast that I do with Jesse Gender about Farscape, the episode talking about Dream a Little Dream, which will be later, I mentioned there what I put in my eggnog. Plugging my podcast feed. I am on a roll tonight. Top level accountant. Can you do a cross-eyed face? Can I do a cross-eyed face? That was a little more than you asked for, but I'm having fun at this point. So you go on about singing out of fear of being demonetized, and then you say the S word. Like, here's the thing. Saying it once in what's going to be over an hour-long stream, I'll get away with it. You really only get demonetized for swearing like right at the start of a video or doing it profusely across the entire thing. I want a compilation of your angry rants on a record. Well, I've got the playlist of my angriest rants. I feel like somebody could cut together a super cut of my angriest moments, like when I'm red-faced and like, ah! I'm not gonna do it. I don't have the time, but like, if somebody wants a project, have at it. Whenever I listen to Trans-Siberian Orchestra version of Carol of the Bells, I think of you. Oh, that's so good. Like, I even love the traditional version of Carol of the Bells, but the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Oh, I love that. All the people asking you to listen to Doctor in Distress should also be asking you to react to Dimensions in Time. That has also been requested. Not as frequently, but it's come up. It's like a PG-13 movie. You're allowed one F-bomb. Pirates, I was actually going to make that same comparison. So, eggy water, yes. I was going to attempt something similar, but with your cold opens. Oh God, the cold open gags. Oh, some of them are so bad. Like if I actually stopped and thought about what I was doing, because like a lot of videos I don't script at all. At this point on this channel, a decent amount of them I'm at least working off notes, but I almost never think to script an opening gag. I just sit down, I'm like, and then it's like first or second thing off the top of my head. That's why they're so all over the place. Do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Not really. I've got a little Irish in the mix, but like I'm mostly English. So like if I were to do what is traditional for my family lineage on St. Patrick's Day, I would just go about oppressing everybody. So, although I think some of you might like that. Remember my life as a teenage robot? I remember it existing. That's about that. That's about it. Yeah, I get that. Them dying in Scott Pilgrim never really sat well with me either, but it satisfied my bloodlust, so hey-ho. Hey, that's valid. Love your videos, but you need to turn the light down a little because it's making your face and hands bright white. At this point, I'm too lazy to go and adjust the thing, so just deal with the fact that I'm a ghost. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, Carolyn, did I miss something? I see you getting my attention, or did I cause reactions? Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry about what I said. That one. Okay, good to know. I'd avoid the sequel to 6. The tone gets so much darker, and the detectives it follows aren't nearly as good at singing or dancing. Oh. Now, like, part of what's great about 6 is how just over the top and flamboyant it is. Like, some of the material's a bit dark, but think you caused reactions. Good to know. So proud of Elliot Page. Yes, I addressed that early in the stream, but I saw it come up a few times since then. Yeah, I'm happy for him. I wish him the best of luck with the ass hats that will come out of the woodwork, because they always do. But I'm happy for him. One thing about Santa Carla, I never could stomach all the damn vampires. I've been to the boardwalk where that movie was shot. I've ridden on the Big Dipper. It's a good boardwalk. I have a YouTube movie reviewer friend who's abysmal at doing comedy openings. You've got it down to a fine art. I would debate that, but you know what? I'll shut up and take the compliment. Bennett the Sage is a guy who used to work for Channel Awesome, but now his stuff has gotten really good after leaving. Well, I feel like everybody who's left there, their stuff got better after leaving because they didn't have to mimic Doug's format so much. Like, I mean, well, goodness sake, Lindsay Ellis has really branched out and done her own thing. Lane Carr hasn't changed drastically, but he kind of nailed down his thing while he was still there. But, you know, even someone like Todd in the Shadows, who hasn't changed his format, but has come more into his own voice, as opposed to kind of trying to be the musical equivalent of Doug Walker. His new stuff's better. It just is. Can you rap Guns and Ships? No. I trip over my tongue trying to do that. Rank the 3 main deaths at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Here's the thing. I don't remember them that well off the top of my head, because when I was a little kid, I always hid my eyes during that part. So it's not ingrained in my head like the rest of it. I feel like the Melt is the most iconic out of the 3, though. Speaking of Lindsay Ellis, any thoughts on the sequel video to the Omegaverse fiasco? Wow! Right? Holy cow. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't follow Lindsay Ellis, which you should, she's amazing. But anyways, she did a piece talking about, oh God, how do I even discuss this? So in the world of online supernatural erotica, there is a subgenre generally called Omegaverse. And without getting into all the tropes of it, it's male on male, usually dubious consent, taking a lot of cues from the misunderstanding that people have about wolf packs, alphas, betas, omegas, and so forth. And I'm not going to get into any more of the specifics about it. But apparently there is a writer in that subgenre who is very, very fond of issuing what have proven and have been alleged to be, I gotta be careful about how I talk about this, spurious or questionable DMCA takedowns of other authors' work, claiming that it's infringing on her copyright. Now, her understanding of copyright seems to be very badly skewed, because by and large she cites tropes, and you can't copyright a trope. You can copyright a character, you can copyright a specific plot, you can't copyright a trope. That's not how anything works. But Lindsay Ellis did a video covering some of the shenanigans that went on there, and was then hit with threat of a lawsuit and DMCA takedowns for her video because in a 40-minute video, she read a couple of paragraphs of this woman's work amounting to about 2 minutes. And this woman claims that it is therefore a copyright violation, which, again, to my understanding, as a layperson, not a legal expert, not a legal anything, that's not how anything works. The initial video was already like, what? The follow-up is madness. It's amazing. Like, even if you don't normally watch her stuff, watch these 2 videos because it's incredible. Bennett pretty much does reviews on older anime, like 80s and 90s kind of stuff. He's even done a new series called Old Daku, New Tricks, where he gives his thoughts on newer anime. I like that title. I'm not sure I'm into anime enough to get that much out of it, but it sounds interesting. I actually like Nostalgic Critic, but I did discover the channel after all the controversy occurred. I mean, like, I stopped watching because I wasn't comfortable watching him anymore. I'm not going to say that he wasn't good at what he did. I enjoyed him. I was subscribed. So, you know, when I say things like he kind of felt like he was restraining the other creators, I'm not saying that, and like imposing his format on them. I'm not saying that the format didn't work for him. It did. But it really did feel like he wanted other reviewers to basically be the version of him that talked about comics or music or more girly things or video games or what have you. Not illegal. Anything has ever been bad. Have I been bad today? Do you like being the center of attention? Sometimes. I tend to describe myself as an extroverted introvert. If I am comfortable, and to be clear, I am capable of being comfortable on a stage, but if I'm comfortable, yeah, I do like attention. But you can't just drop me into the middle of a party and have me be okay. I'll actually be really uncomfortable. So I have a lot of clashing dual nature with me. Like, go freaking figure. Different elements of myself trying to balance each other, and it's a little bit of a, I don't know, result. Huge shock. I've always said, show me a line and I will straddle it. Are you an extrovert or introvert? Both. Are you a man or a woman? That's my life. Ain't it fun? I have a weird position. I'm anti-imperialist, yet if we got invaded by aliens, I would be down for it. I mean, it depends on the aliens, and whether they require a coordinated response or not. Because I would be kind of tempted to say, just arm everybody and let's anarchy guerrilla warfare this thing. Wreck-It Ralph or Big Hero 6? Wreck-It Ralph. Big Hero 6 is very good, but I like Wreck-It Ralph better. I've gone a bit long today. I'm having fun. I do need to stop soon though, because I do have stuff I need to shoot. I was gonna try and do some more editing. I'm not gonna get that done. Why do you say McCavity in a high-pitched voice? As an exaggeration of what Idris Elba actually does in Cats. Because he doesn't pitch up as much as I pitch up, because I'm not sure he's capable of pitching up quite to my level. I love you, Idris, but don't think you can get here. But his voice does go up a bit, more than is standard for him when he does that. I know what you're saying. I can't imagine how patronizing Ellis must have found the Nostalgia Chick moniker. I mean, to be fair, when she first started, she basically, like, they had an opening for what was going to be the Nostalgia Chick. She had to go through, like, an audition process where she was, so like she knew what she was getting into, but I have no doubt that she eventually wanted to grow out of that, and because very clearly she has since branching out on her own. What are your thoughts on Revenge of the Nerds? Really rapey. But then again, so are a lot of 80s college sex comedies. I mean, that's okay. Look, I appreciate what it was doing at the time. I kind of hate that a lot of... it's gotten better lately, but for a while, a lot of geek culture, or supposed geek culture, was just doing Revenge of the Nerds again. And was treading on those same stereotypes. I mean, it's one of many reasons why I hate Big Bang Theory. You say it like that because there's no other way of saying McCavity. You're sexy and you know it. On a good day, I know it. And I'm having a good day. Vera's review, really rapey, 2 stars. How would you change the character Fagin and Oliver? Why would I change him? I've played him. That was where I got the theater bug, was playing Fagin in 7th grade with fingerless gloves and like stippled on facial hair. That was a lot of fun. I think I better think it out again. Oh man, that takes me back. Do you get drunk on St. Patrick's Day? If I do, it's by coincidence, not by intent. Really rapey, 2 stars without a safe word, 7 stars with a safe word. Well, if there's a safe word, then it's not rape, it's consensual non-consent. That's a whole other ball of wax. I was getting close to 3 a.m. over here, seriously. To hell with time zones. I'll see you guys around. Peace. See you, Logan. Thanks for stopping in. My friend recently showed me My Hero Academia. It was the first time a movie made me feel like I was tripping since Scott Pilgrim. From what I've heard about that show, and I doubt the movie is much different. That sounds accurate. Late in the stream, how do you feel about Ellen Page coming out as trans and is now Elliot Page? Power to him. I'm very happy for him. I'm glad he came out. I hope he has to deal with as little bullcrap as possible, but there will be some. I know your daughter knows about your gender fluidity, but out of curiosity, does she know the term gender fluid and other non-binary gender identities? I don't believe she does. Like, the thing is, I haven't had to have many, like, sit down and go over things, conversations with her, because this is just kind of her day-to-day reality. I mean, she saw me go in full feminine makeup for the first time when she was 2 years old. And this was by design. Her mother and I made the decision that she actually watched me. She watched me put on the makeup. She watched me put on the wig so that she knew it was me. And so that at a young age, she would understand that no matter what's going on here, that I'm still her father. I'm the same person. And so for her, my fluctuating presentation and even going more feminine and all of this, like, this is not that far from what's always been her normal. And her normal is her father is going to look different at different times on different days, and I'm still the same person. So when she gets a little older, I might have more concrete conversations with her just to get a sense of what she does know and then fill in some of the gaps. But, like, she's also 9, so it's hard to know to what degree I can expect her to wrap her head around all this. But as far as, like, her dealing with me, I'm still her dad. I'm still just her dad who annoys her and she thinks is weird. Not because of this, just because she thinks her mother's weird too. So, there you go. Alec Guinness played Fagin in David Lean's film version in the 40s. The makeup he's wearing is, yeah. He played quite a few ethnic minorities for Lean. Oh, I heard about that. Sony is making a Wow. Okay, that's a sign I need to stop soon. Sony's making a Cinderella movie. What are your thoughts? I have none. It's a public domain story. Go ahead. Whatever. I don't really care. Is the term father at all dysphoric for you? For me personally, no. This question came up on TikTok not long ago. But for some parents who transition after their children are born, there is the potential for dysphoria depending on what terms their children use to refer to them. Now, in my case, because my dysphoria is so mild, it's so incredibly minor to the point that I barely acknowledge that I have any at all, I will always be her father. Even if I transition full-time as a woman and go exclusively by feminine pronouns, I will still be her father. I'm not her mother. I didn't give birth to her. My part in her life is as a father. And the nature of my relationship with her doesn't change even if I do. I've been dad all her life. I'll always be dad. Now again, that's me and me only. There are trans parents who do have dysphoria and who prefer other terms. So don't take what I'm saying as the way to handle it with anybody else. But that's me. I am her father. She's stuck with me. I really should wrap up. As long as we normalize it, queer identities aren't going to be weirder to kids than any of the other stuff we teach them. Yeah, that's what I figure. There isn't actually a sequel to 6. I'm sorry I misled you. You are her parent. The love is there regardless of what labels you and her are comfortable with. Yeah, but like, that's the label. That's what it is. It's what it's been. It's what it's going to be. Because it's important to me that she always understand that I am the same person. And again, speaking only for myself, I feel like in some ways asking her to call me anything other than her father would be, that would actually represent a much more fundamental change than anything that's happened to me in terms of my presentation or the fact that I have breasts now or any of that. That would actually mean something has changed about our relationship, but nothing has. And it won't, not on that front. Hi, Dave. I'm actually wrapping it up. So let's see here. Yeah, this is your last chance to get in questions or super chats or what have you. What are your thoughts on Treasure Planet? I really like Treasure Planet. Now, granted, I was always going to be a sucker for that because I actually really like Treasure Island. It's one of the classics I actually enjoy. I'm a real sucker for that story. And so I think Treasure Planet's an unappreciated gem. I enjoy it a lot. The film ending of Oliver with Fagin and Dodger walking off into the sunlight together is much better than the stage ending. Yeah. Stage ending's a bit more melancholy. Do you do squats? I've tried. I get good about keeping it up for like a few weeks and then I drop off it again. That's like me in most exercise at this point. Oh. Stretch my back. Okay, I do need to wrap it up. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope that you have a good rest of the week. And yeah, stay safe, stay well, be kind. Oh, do you have a favorite Star Trek character? Oh, Bookworm, I don't know if I could if I could pick a single one, like I'm partial to Data. I like Picard. I like McCoy. I think I've kind of got a three-way tie going on there. Anyways, I gotta wrap it up. So please remember, you are beautiful, you are valid, and you are loved. You are the council. I'm just running the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.